This is Ramblin' Man Moto and Drone. It's a Friday morning. Looks like it rained a little overnight. It's supposed to be a very nice 70-degree day. I think wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of bikers out eventually today. So I'm headed back to the mechanic who helped me put on all the stuff in my recent upgrades. I was going to go out riding anyway. My damn left mirror is loose. I'm going to have to pull over and see if I can fix this. Man, what the heck. We're going to adjust these handlebars. I just put a new toolkit in the bag, but I'm not sure. I've had a heck of a time with these mirrors. They shouldn't be so difficult, but both my wife and I were playing around with how to tighten these things and keep them in place. And I don't know what made them coming loose now. I've been riding the bike and I didn't touch them. Haven't had to do anything. But I got too far to go to wait. Guys, I stopped to see if I could fix this mirror. I'm still not comfortable. I think it's going to come loose again. I think I need to take it apart. But we'll see. So on this Springfield, one thing you cannot do is easily look down at your instrument cluster, and a guy who wasn't me on an Indian forum posted about this, but he wishes they would redesign to have more up here that you could see just by glancing down. And of course the internet did its thing where Macho Man said they never ever look at their instruments. What do you need those for? You go by sound and feel, that's it. And of course, a sarcastic person would say, well, you don't look at your gas to know when you need to fill up with gas. You just run until you feel it's on empty. But I totally agree with the guy. There's times I want to look down, but you literally have to look with your whole head to see these gauges. Except for the gas one right there. You can see that. And it's not like these pipes are the loudest in the world, so running off sound is kind of a challenge. You throw in the wind and earplugs and it can be hard to hear the stock pipes, which is what this is running right now. Then that leaves feel. Oh Lord. That leaves feel, which is easier to tell. But you know, there's range and how many miles you've been on the road, and if you're looking, to gauge something by miles, you want to glance down at the trip meter. There's no glancing. These are things you don't really notice when you're doing a demo days ride for 15-30 minutes. 15 to 20 probably. You just know you're enjoying the ride. It feels pretty good. I'm not going to do this now, but one of the things I want to check, I agree with one of the commenters that my horn sounds quiet when I've done a demo while riding. And I can assure you, when parked, it sounds very, very loud. Louder than the horn on my other bike, which is also loud, but I hear that horn on the videos very easily. Now, I don't know if it's the tone or if the GoPro's been set to eliminate some extra loud noises. I chalked it up to my helmet, But you know, it doesn't do that with my other horn. So then, you know, as a novice, I don't know, I got to wondering if there's something about the bike going down the road. Is the horn drawing power such that when I'm going down the road, it doesn't have enough power for the full horn versus when I'm sitting still? So when I have a chance, and you know, I want this guy to think I'm honking at him, I'll test that again right now. With I'm wearing a different helmet. This is the modular helmet, and it's a little louder. It's got some cracks where I think wind gets in a little more. It's also something I've noticed that this newer helmet, to me, doesn't sound as good when I record these videos, because I think there's too much wind. I pulled the whole microphone out, tried to retape it, but the thing is that the vent is not right there at the microphone. It's behind a little part of the helmet of the shell. But the other helmet doesn't have as good it's the same brand helmet, just a different model. It doesn't let nearly as much wind come in. And to me, that helmet sounds better so far on the recordings. Yesterday, GoPro Medium didn't let me down. It failed again. I guess at some point, the little part of the microphone pulled out and I had no sound. Well, I had sound, but it had converted to recording off the Medium itself, which of course I had the helmet closed, so you could just barely hear it when I turned up the volume. You hear wind noise just fine. One of the things about this trip I have to do is one of the circular on-ramps, which I am still nervous. I just haven't done many, even, I guess, I gotta go double check how long I've been riding now. I think I keep saying 2.5 to 3 years. I think that's still kind of where I'm at. And mostly backcountry roads, a little bit of interstate, some city, but not much. Mostly roads like this. And the on-ramps, you know, some are simple, but then you get the ones that do the full kind of circle or half circle. And I've watched videos. Clearly, I'm not the only one that finds it a challenge at time. I'm having to clear my visor if you see my hand in front of the camera. And, you know, I don't take them as fast as cars behind me probably think a biker would. Because I'm being careful. The other issue I have with this is the friction zone. I'm still finessing on this bike, and with the way the bars are rolled, I have found I'm having some issues releasing it, especially in a turn when my left arm is more extended. Alright, so I'm going to try to go kind of at, and it's also been raining, so it adds to my concern. Looking through the turn, I thought I was going to go outside in, but I'm just going slower and kind of middle to end. One thing I like about having the Garmin on is at least there's a speedometer on the Garmin tracking my speed, so I don't have to look down and wonder how fast I'm going. And this road is busy because of rush hour, and it's taking people to 95. Oh, this has got me taken. The Garmin is probably set to not use highways, and which is what I usually do. So I'm gonna have to ignore that, as I generally know where I'm going. Well, I think that horn is loud. It just doesn't sound as loud when I'm not on the bike. To me, that's for sure. But to hear that horn, if I lifted my visor, it certainly sounds louder when I'm standing in front of it. But on video, it doesn't sound very loud, and even then I just lifted my visor a little bit, and it's definitely not the old horn. The old horn with meep meep, and this sounds like a car horn, which is what it sounded like when other people made videos. That's what it sounded like. What this one sounded like.